Welcome to Octane Mobile Gaming. Welcome once again to Octane Mobile Gaming with your host iOctane. That draw was really insane. My third tier draw was the best draw I've ever had since I've been playing this game. One Master Collection card, one Ultra Rare on the same tier. Really good draw. But anyway, let's jump into the news link and then we're gonna look at the cards. So this week's news link: bonus rare event relic in the vault. This bonus rare relic will be on tier 5. So if you go up to tier 5, you'll get a bonus rare relic, which is really nice for people who normally goes up to tier 5, 6, 7 or above. Commander difficulty adjustment. They've adjusted the difficulties of the Carillion bosses, which is really good. Really nice. Let's see what the reduction looks like tomorrow when the event starts. Revival Vault this week. So last week we have had the Legacy Vault. This week we are going back to the Revival Vault. The Legacy Vault, they have halted it simply because I believe it's because it's too expensive. So I'm going to run some numbers by you and you see how expensive the Legacy Vault can be. So for the first tier is 300 gems, second 700, the third 1400, the fourth 2500, and the fifth tier is 5000. That gives you a grand total of 9900 gems. Now all subsequent tiers after that is 5500. So if you take away the 5 cards that you get from the first 5 tiers, you've got 36 cards remaining in the vault. Now those 36 cards, if you clear the vault, will cost you a grand total of, wait for it, 198,000 gems. Now I've run some numbers. The numbers are approximate, they're not exact. Now, if you're living in the UK, that would cost you £1,750. If you're living in the US, it would cost you $1,900. Now, that's quite a lot of money. Okay, now if we go back to the Legacy Vault and they haven't reduced the costs, you'll get 10 Legacy Vault ranging from Commander to Slayer and all the subsequent affinities. So for every affinity, you've got a Commander deck and you've got a Slayer deck. So you basically have got 10 vaults. Now, if you're gonna clear all 10 vaults, if you're a big spender, it will cost you approximately £17,500 or $19,000. That's to basically clear all 10 vaults. That's with the current amount of cards that's in the vault at the moment. Now, every event that you get a new set of cards. So new cards will be added to the vault, so it will become more expensive as time goes on, basically. So personally, I don't think the Legacy Vault is good. I think the idea behind it is really, really good. I give Network a thumbs up for that. The idea behind the Legacy Vault is absolutely magnificent. Going through a vault with only gold cards or silver cards within it, none of the rubbish that we normally get in the event vaults, is absolutely brilliant. I think it's a brilliant idea. However, I think they need to actually reduce the cost. If they reduce the cost, it would be really, really great for the players. I mean, if you are a big spender, you still would want a some form of reduction, or do something as you go up. You get some form of luck where you might get 2 or 3 additional cards or something. But as it stands, the Legacy Vault is too expensive. It's not something that most of us would look to try and go too deep into it. So they're rethinking it. So they are listening to the feedback, which is really great. Let's see what they come up with, and we go from there. So that's it on Legacy Vault and Revival Vault. But guys, the Revival Vaults are really good, especially to get season coin. So let's jump right into the cards. As you saw from my draw, I got everything that I needed for the deck on tier 3, which was absolutely brilliant. So let's have a look at the cards. So where are my cards? Here we go. So start first and foremost with the ultimate form, which is Savage Swarm. And the deck this week is an Immortal Killer deck, and you can use Quick and Dirty if you didn't manage to get this deck. So Quick and Dirty is a card that we got last year. It's an Immortal Killer. It's a reset deck. It's a very good deck as well, so it can be used. However, you won't get the 900% killer bonus unless it's like 6-pink star. You get probably, I think it's 1,000. I'm not sure because I haven't got a 6-pink star copy of that card. But this card, it's got a battle skill which is called Exoskeleton. You gain 15% damage resistance for each power gem 5 or higher on the board, which, looking at it, is really nice. It can be really useful if you get quite a bit of power gem 5 and upward on the board. You can basically end up taking no damage. It's got a 4-turn cooldown, 9 gem charge rate, which is not too bad. The passive is called Toxic Dust. You create 3 Earth Power Gem 5s at the start of each turn. So it passively creates power gems, which is really good. I like cards that create power gem passively. They can be really useful, especially in GVG circumstances. If enemies are poisoned, instead, it will create 4 + 1 additional for every 150 Immortal Killer intensity. Still, I think the intensity is too high. I think 100 should be the limit. 150 is a bit too much, unless you're using probably 4 copies of the Ultra Rare, because the Ultra Rare will increase the number of power gem that it creates. Second passive is Venomous Sting, Whenever this era attacks, he poisons all enemies, dealing 50% of the damage of the main attack at the end of the next 3 turns. So we saw this skill before on the last Light Commander deck, so this skill is not really new. This skill can be useful. It's got its place. It can be very useful, especially in the wave attacks in the Crusade map. This skill can be very useful. So this is geared towards a commander event, especially wave fights. So this skill I think is really great for the wave fights. So this ultimate form as it stands is not a bad ultimate form. It's okay. And if you haven't got Commander Immortal Killer card, which is the only one that we've got is Quick and Dirty, you can go for this one. And this one will work quite well, especially in the commander event. It's I don't think it's brilliant, but I think it's okay. I think it's nice. This is your Master Collection card. It is called the Juggernaut, and the Juggernaut will create 4 Earth Power Gem 4s now and at the start of the next 2 turns. It's got a 2-turn cooldown. So as long as you keep activating the battle skill every 2 turns, you've got 4 power gems every turn. So keep producing 4 power gems over and over. Power gems doesn't increase with intensity. That would have been nice. It would have been a nice addition to this card to see this card creating more power gem 4s. Even though it's power gem 4s, it's quite nice to see the number of power gems increasing as time goes on and the intensity increase. Passive is Venomous Sting. Whenever this era attacks, he poisons all enemies, dealing for 50% of the damage of the main attack at the end of the next 3 turns. So you will have 2 cards, Master Collection card, the ultimate form, dealing 50% of the main attack, which is not bad. So if you've got more than 1 Master Collection card, which you can get if you get the shiny Master Collection card, that will be a nice skill to use during the wave fights. Ultra rare, Moonlit Matriarch. So this card will gain 15% damage resistance for each Earth Power Gem 5 or higher on the board. Again, I think this is really good. It will stack with the ultimate form, so more power gem 5, 6 and upwards, you will take a lot less damage. Probably at one point you will be able to take 0 damage, really, if you can create quite a number of power gem 5s and higher on the board. Passive again is Toxic Dust. It will create 3 Earth Power Gem 5s, and if the enemies are poisoned, it will create 4 + 1 for every 150 Immortal Killer intensity. So this is a card that will be able to fill the board with Power Gem 5s as time goes on. Really good, really nice. I think 2 copies of the Ultra Rare or 3 copies of Ultra Rare would be quite great, or 2 Master Collection card, 2 Ultra Rare will be good. However, we're gonna take a look at their Dispel or their counter attack, and then we'll decide what you can or can't have on the combo. So this is your main card or event card, depends on what you call it. It creates 3 Earth Power Gem 4s. Your Master Collection card creates 4 now and at the start of the next 3 turns. It's got 2-turn cooldown, just like the Master Collection card. Whenever this era attacks, he poisons all enemies, dealing 30%, not 50, but 30% of the damage of the main attack at the end of the next 3 turns. So this card won't create a lot of power gems, but if you've got Quick and Dirty, you could add this card to the mix. That would give you the passive, which actually deals extra damage to the enemy at the end of every turn, which is quite nice. So I think it's nice. I don't think it's brilliant. It's powerful though, because it creates 3 Power Gem 4s, while the Master Collection card creates 4 Power Gem 4s. However, it's the Killer Immortal Killer 2, it's only 400%, while your Master Collection card has got 800. So that's the difference between these 2 cards. this is your support card. Your support card will create 5 Earth Gems. It's got a 1 turn cooldown, so you can create 5 Earth Gem every turn as long as you activate the battle skill of your support card. Plus, it heals for 1000% of hero recovery at the start of each turn. So it heals every turn and it can create gems every turn, which is nice. Not brilliant, but it is nice. So all in all, I think this deck is good. I don't think it's brilliant, but I think it's good. Is it one to get? I wouldn't say go deep, but if you've got the coins, you could craft it, because I think without the current deck, you can potentially perform really good in the event without the current deck. However, with the deck, you're gonna perform much better. But if you have your highs set on something else, because some of us, like myself, I'm setting my highs primarily on, say, next week event, which is a Light Slayer, or the event after. Depends on the deck that we get next week. If the deck that we get next week is a brilliant deck, I'll craft the deck next week. If we get a deck that is not too good, I'll probably hold off for the next commander event, which is a fire commander event, which is at the end of the season. Depends on how it goes, but let's see how it goes. So this deck, I like this deck. I don't think it's a fabulous deck, but I kind of like the mechanics. I kind of like where it's going, and I think it's good. I don't think it's brilliant, but I think it's good. I've only got 1 relic. I haven't got the ultimate relic, but it does exactly as every other relic does, so we're not going to look too much on that. However, we are going to look on other cards that we can potentially use if we haven't got the event deck, or cards that we can add to the main deck. So if we take a look at, say, this combination, so this combination, we're using Vernon Druid to get the immortal skill, and that will pass its skill onto hard-won gorillas. Now you've got jailers, and I've got the ultimate form. Now the reason why I've got the ultimate form on this particular combination is simply because of its counter. Now this week the bosses will be running Alacrity. Now Alacrity will affect this card, the Defiant Duet, and it will affect this card, the jailers, because they do a turn delay. So any card that does turn delay, Alacrity affects their ability. So you have to have a card on this combination to actually dispel Alacrity. So if you haven't got the ultimate form, you can add another card to the mix that will dispel Alacrity. If you've got the Master Collection card, the Master Collection card as well. So let's look at the Master Collection card. The Master Collection card dispels Toxin. So we have got Toxin in the mix. So with Toxin will affect, say, high performance area. Because this is an immortal deck, you can add high performance area to the mix. So I think Network is throwing a spanner in the mix. Toxin, of all the things, Toxin. And we've also got Chaos. So we've got Chaos, which this deck produces, well, all its power gems passively. So if you haven't got the support card on your deck, basically you're gonna be in big trouble, because Chaos is one that it does what it says. It creates chaos. Toxin will affect high performance area, and Alacrity will affect the jailers. So there's a lot of things going on this week. This week is going to be quite interesting when it comes to deck building. Now on this combination, what I can do is add, say, Immortal, and high performance area is going to be one that you want to put on the deck. You could have this one in the mix as well. And let's look at There is Quick and Dirty. As I said, it's a reset deck. You've also got Making You, it's Immortal, but it's Slayer. What I'm looking for, what am I looking for? I'm actually looking for the Master Collection card. So a Master Collection card in, and then, so you could do something like this, or you could add this one instead of a Glorious Golem. So you could use something like that. So your ultra rare will start to create more power gems on the board passively as long as your immortal intensity increase. You've got your Savage Swarm giving you your resistance, just like your ultra rare, and you've got your Master Collection card alongside your ultimate form, giving you your 50% extra damage at the end of each turn. Then you've got your Quick and Dirty, giving you a bit of extra power gem in the mix and giving you a second buff from its Immortal Killer skill. And then you've got High Performance Area, giving you a whopping 2,500 increase to their skill. So that's one combination you could use. This is another combination you could use with this one. Then you've got your main deck. Then you could use your Quick and Dirty deck, which Quick and Dirty. Then you've got your ultra rare. So I've got 3 copies of the ultra rare. Then your Master Collection card. But with this deck, you haven't really got the Dispel for Alacrity. That one is blind, this one is blind, and this one is Fear. So this one, you definitely need to add cards to the mix. So if you actually got the main card, you can add the main card to this one. So you could add the main card to give you the Dispel. You don't need any Alacrity, and you could add the support card. So what will happen is you're going to Dispel 2 of the things that's going to affect this deck, which Toxin affect cards that heal. So Toxin will affect this card, the support card, because that's where your heal is going to come from. And then you're going to Dispel Chaos. So Chaos will affect your deck as well, because this card is going to produce well, it's not going to produce power gems passively, is it? So none of the cards here are going to produce anything passively. Let's see. Nothing passively, so you could get rid of this one, even though this one is going to do quite a bit of damage. But you could just, all you need is just the support card, 2 ultra rare and the support card. So your ultra rare, the ultra rares are basically going to reset these 2 cards, this one and this one. So you get 2 reset, so you create quite a number of power gems on the board. Chaos won't really affect this deck, because this deck, it doesn't produce anything passively, and secondly, Toxin won't affect it, and it won't really affect it that much. Because let's look at the battle skill. It reset and charges the skills passive each time this hero attack. It creates 2 power gem 2, so it does create power gems passively. So you will need this one just to keep those on the board. Toxin will affect this card, so I mean, to keep this one on the board and to actually heal your cards up, you probably definitely will need to Dispel Toxin. So you're gonna need this one if you haven't got the ultimate form. So those are just some of the cards that you can use. This card is not a bad card for an Druid. It actually increases Immortal Hero attack by 30% per 3% per 10 Immortal Killer intensity. So that's not a bad card as well. That can be used. If you collected all the stuff that they gave us, I think it was 2 or 3 months ago, they were giving us stuff each day. You would have got a copy of this card, Making You. I did get a copy, so I've got 2 copies of Making You, actually. That's a free copy that I got. And it's a card that you could add to the deck as well. But tomorrow we'll look at possible deck combination. I'll build a few decks, I'll play around with them, see exactly what they can do. And then I will tell you which one is the best, which one works, which one doesn't work. The thing as well is on the network app, you can, if you're in more than one chat, because I'm part of about 5 or 6 chat, people do put their decks on there, so you can see a lot of decks that people are using. In your guild as well, people will come up with deck combination that are real good. Because last week it was actually somebody in my guild that showed me a combination that actually works quite well, which was really good. So there's ways of finding out what people are using, because I mean, I can show you a deck that works really brilliant and somebody comes up with a deck that works even far better than the one that I've got, or using the cards that you've got. So you have to search around to find the best decks, but I'll do my best to give you the best deck combination that I can find with the cards that I've got. So we'll do that tomorrow. But guys, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your comments. Big shout out to all of you guys out there. Really love your feedback on the latest videos that I'm putting up. On Friday there'll be a new presenter. She's called Jay. She will be doing the Friday videos from now on. So stay tuned. Look out for Jay. Make her feel welcome. Give her comments. Give her feedback. So until the next video, guys, which is tomorrow, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day. Bye for now.